We guest go introduce himself. Say hi to viewers and listeners, sir.
Viewers and listeners, great honor. My name is Abdul Karim Will. I'm a Director for Strategic Communications and spokesperson at the Office of National Security. As usual, I'm happy for the on the hot seat.
Thank you. So, just take me back. How ONS come about? We know say ONS not been there before now. So, how ONS come about?
Okay, ONS came about immediately after the country in civil war. So now a post-war security outfit
Okay.
will be established by an act of parliament. They refer to them as the National Security and Central Intelligence Act of 2002. Then on account of the lessons that have been learned from the war.
Okay.
Before the 11 years civil war, saloon security been largely uncoordinated.
All right.
And because of that level of uncoordination, a lot of things have been happen we know augur well for national security. Every security sector agency be they function in silos, which means everybody they do in own separate from the other person.
Okay.
But within any be lead we into if I go into a conflict, it will almost become intractable. Who will go into the conflict it will struggle for feta. Who will go into the conflict, it will become very bloody. It will become difficult for the people who will get authority for take the actions, and because the officers that we supposed to be the foot soldiers, but they report on the same things, given it different lenses. And so in the process, with the left wing leaders, we be the left wing leaders in dilemma.
Okay.
Brother, please don't tell me this on this particular subject matter. We long tell me this on this subject.
All man count in different
versions.
Okay.
And so it make the leaders become confused as to which road for take for reach certain decisions. I mean, evidence and they are bound will show that clearly. During the war, somebody come and say, hey, I see rebels and they come, na salon, na Freetown, like manners from heaven. Other person say, no, but I'm not a better thing that one day. And at the end of the day, we see the end results. So after the war, now be thinking of we government and we international partners that in we new security world, we need to get a kind of a outfit where they provide a civilian oversight and provide coordination for the entire gamut of the security sector.
Okay.
And so the need become for let them give birth to a national security coordinating institution. We're largely populated by civilians, where they provide that coordination, they for bring together, for provide the platforms. Usai with Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces personnel, the Sierra Leone Police, Correctional Services, the National Fire Force, they come together on a daily basis, depending on what thing they happen, for discuss issues relating to security.
Okay.
Now, be also the realization say security no longer for be only gun-toting kind of a security provision. Again, for be a human security kind of a provision, service provision. And so everything we get for do with the totality of the human being, not to only way they can protect you physically, I mean say you secure, but several other things we go make the person feel comfortable, even we say again physical security provision for be looked into. And they also for guide the country in leadership at every given point.
All right.
And so now that one, the basically, so the Office of National Security will be headed by a National Security Coordinator, who is a principal advisor to the President and the people of Sierra Leone on all matters relating to the security of the country. And since we established in 2002, the Act itself don't be repealed and replaced in 2023, forget several other provisions, so that we live to the realities of the day, because security thing, they're not one the way static, and a fluid thing they're making change, as depending no more on the prevailing circumstance, the environment, it can evolve as the case may be.
So presently, what's the security situation of the country?
Yeah, so with intelligence estimates, security analysis, information and everything, we can confidently say Sierra Leone relatively peaceful. We can always say relatively peaceful because no one country in the whole world no go say 100% perfect. In the midst of all of the efforts, you will get challenges along the line. But what's important now, the ability, the structures, the resolve of the various agencies, various players, for able for address to then challenges and the way they confront you.
Okay.
And as like I say in Sierra Leone, now a kind of a holistic approach to security provision. And in this case, everybody on board.
Okay.
At every level, you get some person, some player playing a role for immune security. So not only about people already in uniform, but every person at community level. So even by the national security architecture, the structure we constitute of security, from the highest level on to the lowest level, you get all man for be present. If you go to the chiefdom security committee, you get the powerman chief of that chiefdom, for serve as chairperson of that committee. Waiting they discuss it, waiting they deliberate it. Now issues ordinarily they affect their own security and then find solution to them. Also, you know, meets their own ability for resolve, they can refer to the bigger picture under the district. The district can refer to the chief, to the province, and the province can refer to the national. So in a way, everybody involved. In that committee, then you get Mami Queens, you get bike riders, you get youth groups, everybody. So then they participate in their own security because we think for let things be very, very much effective and fine, people are for owner. So the security of Sierra Leone, the people, the security, now that's what they do.
I understand. So also the people who deal with security agencies and the register too?
Yeah, private security companies.
Know how much in the country?
Yes, by with records, the one that we register with we get inventory of them. However, attempts don't be made over the period by some other one them for established clandestine agencies that begin to function. Wherever we get information about them kind of day, would they go and remind them, say they get a responsibility, and there is an agency who is responsible for regulate them. Because the function, the role where private security companies and they provide are only very critical to national security. Their role recognized by the state, their role very much important to national security. It only makes sense for let you regulate their conduct. If you don't regulate them, then they could be a conduit which could be used for foment problems, either at individual level or even at state level. Because the security they provide, and they provide that for not only individuals, they provide that for corporate agencies, and they also provide that for government agencies. And so you won't forget a kind of a streamlined or structured kind of approach as to how they do their business. So the national security coordinated by the provisions of the national security.
So ONS know how many security agencies private they operate in the country as a whole?
Yeah, they are
each and every one?
Each and every one that we register with the Office of National Security.
So what do you want to register? Because I know say some man they no give some uniform, but I mean privately we can say they employ 10 man there, but then do security job to people that wasabi. You go work to this, you go work to this, but they not register to UNA and then you operate. So
that's an offense in itself, and you get a huge kind of a penalty for anybody who operate a private security
They get
agency.
Criteria before somebody open a security agency. What criteria?
There's several one of course they serve into categories. You get class A, class B, class C as a case may be. Class A now they're large scale security private security companies. Most of them either foreign nationals or local owner, you get the kind threshold of a security service provision way for itself, and then one and day their own license is different in terms of that kind of thing. But now they want the way they attract the most big offices in terms of security provision.
When I can look into the people who then they recruit for big security people, because sometimes I know say it can be former or ex-service people and also, but when I can look into the may not be say maybe they don't get criminal record, then go under the security agencies. Yeah.
So there is a directorate within the Office of National Security where they deal directly with private security companies on behalf of the National Security Coordinator. Whilst in the provided licenses, but we get full soldiers officers where they interact on a day-to-day basis with the CEOs of all private security companies, and there are requirements. That's one for let you even be CEO, you get for meet A, B, and C threshold in terms of even your credibility, in terms of your posture, in terms of your history. Also, that need to be cascaded down to the people who they employ, because like I say, people who provide private security service to people in the country. Now one day they play a very critical, crucial role. So you don't want to forget people, and we go be gates people, we go open the gates for the wrong people and can do bad things onto people. When somebody give me security service provision, it means you want for sleep and sleep fully. You know, for begin for YENGA say, hey, this person how they provide this, you get the tenants and that kind of thing. So you for do background check to your workman them. any workman we want for. Now by law, if you do background check, if you think as a private security company that you don't get the ability, you don't get all of the wherewithal, where for checkmate the people we want for, which the Office of National Security, the provider service for do vetting.
Okay.
For vet the background of people.
All right. So now look, come to the, I mean, we're on a conference, the meeting on the 16th to the 20th, now Liberia. What's happened? How did the whole thing come about?
Okay. So Liberia, let me play host to this sub-regional conference.
Okay.
The 4 MRU countries come together and go get in Liberia for discuss very critical issues, but overall with the aim for strengthening cross-border cooperation.
Okay.
Mindful of the fact, say the borders them we share, we separate within the countries and at the Mana River.
The 4 countries.
Yes, the 4 countries have been colonial legacies. No, actually, it means now the people who be colonized, now they put them boundaries in there.
Okay.
Prior to them come one, barring and no been there.
Okay.
Now people in Africa will be get.
All right.
So you know, be sabi uda na Liberian, uda na Sierra Leone, and that kind of thing. All uda na black people, na African people. But they then come during the scramble and partition for Africa, particularly West Africa. They say they slice them into shapes like some people. Like
what they do that?
Like with them, everybody they come, whether in France, whether
but people they meet people.
They meet people in there. So they come and they using different kinds of administrative means or practices for say we are French, we take this territory, we are Portuguese, we take care, we are English, we take care, and that kind of. So in the process, everybody want for protecting territory, so they put boundaries.
Okay.
So na Salon, we get a structure we're responsible for look at issues relating to the borders, whether na the land or na the sea. Because we have land, sea, or even the air, the forest as a case may be. So the National Security Coordinator, by virtue of his function, now the overall coordinator for them kind activities and
Okay.
So on June 14th, or prior to June 16, he put together a team drawn from a joint technical commission for the reaffirmation of the borders between Sierra Leone and Guinea. Thankfully, we in Guinea, because of the level of interaction between we and Guinea, the number of border lines we share with Guinea, we don't make a lot of progress in terms of a relationship with Guinea along border security. So we don't establish a joint technical commission with Guinea for the reaffirmation of the borders between we and them. And then committees are then drawn from various government ministries, departments, and agencies. The mainstream security actors, the police, the military, ONS. We get the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Lands, the Ministry of Local Government and Internal Affairs, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because of foreign thing that we talked about, Immigrations Department. All of them are then constitute what you refer to as the Joint Technical Committee for the reaffirmation of the borders between Sierra Leone and Guinea. We get the University of Sierra Leone as well. Of course, as we go into the discussions, you will see why you get all of them players in there for constitute. So the National Security Coordinator, we constitute that team there for go join with counterpart in Liberia for go get this conference. In that meeting day, we will get Ivory Coast Day, we get Guinea Day. Being that we don't establish a joint technical committee for work along resolving border issues with Guinea, Guinea, being for now, establish their own technical committee with Liberia. And Liberia established a joint technical committee with Sierra Leone and Ivory Coast. So now 4 committees they now will talk about. Liberia happened for share more boundaries with share boundaries with all of the 3. Salon, Guinea, and Liberia. So they establish commissions for each of the one and they. We establish only now for them, and because the one for
we border with.
Where we border with. Now the realization say, even though borders for serve as barriers. Rather, if for serve as thing the way they unite we, but we see say over the period because of the want for resources. We say we're not actually supposed to make plaba some half some
YENGA.
For example, YENGA na one. We get issues around the Meli River, the Makuna River, or even the Sulima. Sulima they on the Liberian axis. So by the virtue of the name of the technical commission, they say for reaffirm. For reaffirm means you have to confirm. It already been there,
okay.
But you have to confirm, say
make sure saying the right thing.
Outside this boundary day na day.
Okay.
Because trading with them in the establishing border land in there, even though they use scientific means for establish them, but some of the physical features the way they use, now one way over time they don't become depleted.
Okay.
Either na trees, rivers, villages, or even actual beacons. They don't erode. During the war, villages and Salon then go, or even villages and Guinea and go, so rivers then dry up and so on and so forth. But the good thing is that the people who they establish boundaries and they also been doing in line with the law. So they sign up to treaties.
Okay.
So Salon, for example, and Guinea, they sign up to several treaties starting from 1889, 1885, 1912, 1913, and so on and so forth.
Which treaty they about?
So the treaty now be for establish the border coordinates between Sierra Leone and Guinea, starting from the Melekure River on the Cambian axis, come to the north around the Fintonian side, go right further north onto Kabbalah, Falaba area, and then even fade on to Meli Nakono.
Okay.
So all of that line there, the side away demarcate we would I get Usai, would I not get Usai, would I for Usai for go and stop. The treaty speak on to that clause after clause.
Okay.
That are the 1889 treaty. But beyond that one day, some contentions have been done long ago over the ownership of the Makona River. The Makona River and a river well located, relatively big. Well, if you have for maybe compare out to other bigger rivers, you can say it's small, but a lot of economic activities they happen there. On this end of the river, we get Kailaon. Specifically, we get town them like Kwendu, where na the chiefdom headquarter town, yes, the business place.
Yeah.
But beyond Nandi, we get places like Sokoma, Puigebendu, we get even YENGA is the famous YENGA because they become now. But on the part of the river, the treaty being, makes some kind of a arrangement we don't give cause to most of them now they contend with. One, the Treaty of 1912, where they been signed at Pendembo. The two commissioners of France and Britain, they may sign up, say, the Makona River exclusively belongs to French Guinea, France Guinea.
Okay.
We mean say, now they get the river. But as a caveat to even that ownership, they say, if Salon person want to do anything on the river, you get right to do so unhindered.
Okay.
Things like navigation. You want to fly boats to and fro, as long as you do it within the framework of the law. You want to do fishing activities, and so on and so forth. You want to wash safe or even build the water. Nobody in Guinea not supposed to amalgam. However,
what about mining activity?
Yeah, so when then 10 and day, now some of the new developments where they come up because mining activity not to be intimidating at the surface.
Yeah.
So maybe the treaty not be make provision for that because it not be for sale. So it is possible that maybe some mining activity or some kind of a mineral don't be discovered with either of the countries they don't be interested in.
Yeah.
Well, one way I know of, not to like that kind of normal mineral they think, but na sand. The sand where they come out of the Makona River, it come out on this part of the river.
All right. On
the Kisi part of the river, the Kwendu part of the river. The other part na Longowa, as you jump na the water, so na inside Longowa, the Longowa de na Guinea, na a very big town na Guinea. But it's go interesting for not say all of the people already na there axis day. Take go to Gwekedu. Take come na Kwendu and most part of a Kailaon around that conclave day.
Yeah.
Na Gizi speaking people. Then they speak the same Gizi. Just the car is talk also the same Gizi somebody they talk na Kailaon na the same Gizi.
Because they're not the same environment.
They are the same environment, the same
they do business and all kinds.
So a lot of intermarriages don't take place. A lot of cultural activities that they exchange. And they exchange education, medicine, agriculture, marriages. Some people and they can't walk na Kailaon and go sleep na Guinea.
But the boundary is supposed to still live.
The boundary is
all
supposed
those
to
activities.
With all of those activities. So, but they always say that if any one part of the countries they want to do any major project on the river, they get forbid through dialogue. So you will find out, say, it be important that that treaty before don't take note of the fact, say, if we can't say this team belongs exclusively to DJ base, But we can go do anything you want for today. What if you say no, let me get her?
Yeah.
You know, the problem day, because what do we know about rivers where it separates a place at the middle of the river point, not at the boundary. So everybody will carry do half here and that kind. You know, mean say okay.
So the colonial people they mix up all and stuff.
When I did the problems, some of the problems that they don't identify. So we go meet na Guinea, I mean na Liberia, for go get fruitful discussions without the need for blame anybody, because I sure say in their own way they
all parties they need
all parties.
Guinea, Liberia,
Ivory Coast,
okay,
and all of the delegations where I mentioned the government ministries where I mentioned for Salon, that the same representatives. We got people from the law side and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So we will come and we achieve for do three things. One, for establishing joint technical commissions, I don't mention. Secondly, we conduct capacity training for all members so that we will get uniform understanding about the relevant thing them we will need for engage in terms of border security. Because border security issues are one that we're very critical and germane to development. It can lead to war, it can lead to conflict, it can accelerate illegal activities. In then turn away two countries that the jam head. Now that tell the smugglers, the bad people, they will begin for pass with the bad things and then kind of opportunity that gap there. So the last thing will be new now for develop actionable roadmaps. We want now for say between we and Guinea. What we want for do for take this process forward. We don't develop one between we and Guinea already, but the timelines will be put and given the activities don't happen, we don't find out so we don't lag behind in terms of implementing those activities. So we review them. We develop roadmap between we and Liberia. Liberia develop between there and Guinea. Liberia develop between there and Ivory Coast. So that when we now go into activities, no clash of activities that will take place. So we develop them jointly so that where they develop your own roadmap, and for members say Liberia say they develop one with Ivory Coast, and so if I take any timeline, if I match up with Tiwo they will coincide with two for do Liberia or Ivory Coast as the case may be. So the meeting will be a fruitful one. The Liberian government will show firm commitment for ensure say they do everything within they capable for do for support the efforts that will be made over time, especially so that then they just come in newly. But one thing will stand out prominently, even though YENGA not to be the subject of discussion, not to like a video overall theme, the topic, but
it fall within this all
this whole stuff. In fact, the head of delegation for Salon. Nabi, the Chief of Staff for the Office of National Security, Mr. Languba Kelly. We will talk on behalf of the National Security Coordinator, Mr. Blair Coker. He highlights Salon get very good friendly relations with Guinea. And we appreciate that. In good or bad times, we don't support each other. But at the same time, it decry the continuous occupation of not only YENGA, but even the other infractions that they take place on the other side. By we records, we get a compendium of over 35 causing points, who say some infractions they take. Infractions now we I know very well say, I not to be get there, but they can do activity and go back. Yes, without referencing the authorities. So aside the way actual occupation don't take place, including particularly the YENGA situation. So he highlights all of the efforts that will be made by the government of Sierra Leone for ensuring we resolve this matter. In 2022, now we inaugurate this joint technical commission, and we inaugurate purposely for address all border challenges, particularly the YENGA situation.
But then the YENGA situation still come up. Then 3 years back, we still go back for do what? What thing will come out of this?
But I base you agree with me, say in negotiations of that nature, it can be painful, it can be slow.
But why the Guineans then still hold on to YENGA? I mean, everybody knows say na Salonga YENGA, and what will be there? Will be come up now? Then become fight the war for protect the new area. Whether they go back, they not go back. But president they don't come, they don't go. What's not the real problem about YENGA, Mr. Will? Is it resources or because I don't believe certain people in there will just go there and all of a sudden they see then get by weekly. Something must there and the way either we don't know or they know.
No, you don't mention them. Resources.
But again, according to the border line, the way everybody knows, say I mean, Salon gets Yenga.
Yeah,
so who said this problem? Is it the strength or the Guineans and they look say Salon weak or what?
So
because this issue don't from the late Pakaba and other people.
Yeah.
So why up till now?
Border issues that one day we could be intractable. We've been going to Kwendu, a team where His Excellency be put together.
Yeah.
Coordinated by the ONS and then headed by the Minister for Internal Affairs. It was in May, specifically around the 4th, the 3rd, or for this year.
All right.
After the incident na Yenga, where we officers also physically go and they played at Sokoma.
Yeah.
Sokoma also located around the Makuna River. In fact, even more hilly as compared to how Yenga turned.
Okay.
The minister been observed say negotiation or dialogue now one can be painful, it can be slow. But if you have to compare that one day with any consideration for going to conflict, you go find out say a better let you patient and resolve them. And say you go for take 10 for kill ants for seeing God. The question they ask, what you really make Guinea? Now the question and they will all find answers to. Now that we all find answers to. But you know, what will happen at Yenga, what will happen between you and Guinea, not on account of efforts, not on account of commitment. We don't do everything we do. For sure say, we resolve them amicably. But with the current development, Yenga don't be pitched to the highest level. In the Guinea meeting, in the Liberian meeting rather, the acting president of Liberia, then the Attorney General, he take notes and promise say, when the president of Liberia come back in country because he been at the ECOWAS summit, it will make him a special point of discussion. For let you appeal to him, for let he work together with him broad and Ivory Coast, let him use the experience age-wise in terms of even governance, for see how they go for support Sierra Leone and Liberia and Guinea, for resolve this matter once and for all. In 2005, 2004, 2005, they are about, like you mentioned, Pakaba and late President Lansana Conde, they been come together in Anongoa and go na Conakry and sign up to an agreement and call it a communique for say the tongue Yenga belongs to Sierra Leone. And so it should be the Sierra Leonean government for...
So where the other parties don't have a witness to them communicating? Because normally we don't send them communicating. The other parties in the day, maybe people from the region, leaders from other countries and maybe international organizations, with them. And why Salon government not go meet them? Say, look, the communicate. And the question was still they ask is, the Salon government, we don't meet the Guinea government and say, and ask them why then they're not younger and why even they don't take over the place. So the governments of both countries, they in active conversation on this matter, very active conversation. Now because of the continuous either back and forth of the Yenga situation, now that make because the reality that Guinea said they actually claim ownership of Yenga. They are not like saying that we recognize it on a get deal. They are actually claiming ownership. If you go to Yenga now that's outside and go put that barrel, they put their own baking and plaque since 1885. Where they say recently go make
where they think say it give them title to the place. So now that make
so what are the original plan? Like we talk about it, but I believe say even the British people are supposed to forget the original plan of this place. So the
technical committee where they set up, we get activities for undertake. One of those activities now for collect documents. Now we look at archives. Documents, either a cartographic document and then map them. Administrative document, then treaties. I mean, they communicate them. Agreements. Then communicate them. Minutes, then they hold per meetings. Or the legal document, the agreement that they mentioned. So the treaties. We don't collect them and they jointly, we and Guinea, we do analysis of them documents and we prefer collective recommendations. Their recommendations and they among them would say, if we want for be sure and pinpoint about them documents we don't collect so internally, we can also refer to the colonial masters. In the case of Guinea, Senegal and France. Because at the home offices and then tell them we colonial period been there. France, France will use Senegal like the hub for all French West African countries. Mostly, of course, that be almost the same for Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone will be the administrative capital for the English-speaking countries. But in Leone case, we refer to the Home Office in London. We think, say, whatever documents, if I don't pull this document, now the archives of Frabi College, the reason we could get Frabi College being part of this particular University of Sierra Leone, now for documentation. And they don't be very, very much helpful. Then give me a whole doctor, we get vast experience, not only land, but also maritime border demarcation. So we provide we critical documents and we're helpful to the conversation. Some of the documents that we provide, now the same document the French people provide. And so we collectively now say, okay, this document to accept them because I want to get them in English, that's how we get them also in French. So we analyze the document and say, for now we pinpoint on the reality of the document, we can put up a small team from the Joint Technical Commissions of the two countries and go visit with home offices for now we actually now confirm. After which we recommend that because there are problems now with the old borders, boundaries, let me first go visit physically for pinpoint on who side the coordinates, and then we can actually with technicians. Then come and pin experts then do the what is and for actually say, oh yes, yeah, at this point and already the border been there, but they don't move and cancel suicide. So let me bring them back to side originally. And what do that and we now put physical.
The Guineans are ready for which you talk.
Of course, now we collective resolve that. Now we collective resolve that.
All right.
Now we collective resolve that.
When I get time frame for all this.
Yeah, so now that most important the roadmap where I refer to, it may speak to all of this. But because of time and some other activities, most of the things that we supposed to do in the first quarter of this year, they'll be shifted to the first quarter of next year. But all of the documents they talk about to produce a report, the report to the share with the authorities, we say share with your authorities, including the roadmaps, the GIZ, and a German international cooperation. Now they provide support, funding support for this activity in collaboration with the governments of both countries. But now the AU, the initiative for ensure they resolve all border issues within the African Union before the year 2030. Because things over time, people you go say Salon is still mild, but that side people they kill themselves. Then they go into armed conflict. Then they go for territory. We think say the thing that we bind we and Guinea, we and Liberia, intermarriages, cultural affinity, the exchanges where they take place in terms of trade, it far outweigh any consideration for can go into conflict for any piece of land. So now that make the resolve don't be from all levels, including government, including policymakers, and so on and so forth, for now we resolve this matter amicably at the table. So that if YENGA is a Guinean territory, it be given to them without any rancor. If it's actually a Sierra Leonean territory, it be taken over by Salon without any rancor. So that because in all of this way they talk, now the interest of the people already on the ground. If any issue of fights happen, the first people that will be victims are the people of Kisi. Now the people of Nongoa. Even as they speak now, the one that will directly impacted, will affected.
The people
now the people are already. Now they don't move. The people in Nongoa says on Guinea. Where that development take place, they also move. They know they do their farming because they can't do farming now.
All right, Fambul, this hot seats, me and Mama Jalos to the DJ base, which tonight we get Mr. Will from ONS. We'll talk about MRE countries and meet some Morovia for strengthening border and maritime cooperation. Maybe the maritime part of it, I believe it's together with water.
Yes. It will be the effort with water. Now that make that joint technical commission day, we get the Sierra Leone Maritime Administration. Because I then get the expertise in that regard. Although Frabi College, University of Sierra Leone, also get their own expertise, they come in for support that process day. Most the thing they happen at the water. Now, like
we get both of the surveillance of water.
Yes, we get both. But how effective that may be? Now, one way
that's a big problem.
Yeah, really. it's actually a big problem because the resource implication.
Next time they allow a lot of people come and fish in our water, and I mean, there are so many resources in the water. So where if we not get the surveillance, we're able to go look. Obviously, then we can take Boku and go.
We get some capabilities. The Marine Police, for example, get a lot of boats. The Navy get a lot of boats. Waiting now important the sustainability of monitoring within the happen now the waters. But I agree with you that in the midst of all of that one day, some side and they will still remain
with technology now.
Zone.
We not even need for good.
We don't need for good.
We're able, I mean, with so many other stuff
because even the law on the sea, it talks if you can't do anything at the territory of the other person, you get for put on a transponder. So, for example, the Sierra Leone Maritime Administration, even for Sedona office, somebody they monitor what they do. If what they do, it fall within.
And don't say somebody don't even enter. We own territory.
We own territory, so they go for notify.
You get any device in there?
Yeah, we get the device. Some thinking there, the report said on the camp say we get rogue boats, rogue elements with the switch off the transponder. Now, just like you say put your phone on, put your phone on outside there, and let me also
like
phone
GPS.
On, so that I will for know what they do. If you put your phone off, then it will be difficult for me. But that one is if it constitutes an offense, and mostly the penalty can be very, very high, ranging from fine to even confiscation of the boating system.
Okay. Mr. Will, how this could be maybe one of the starting meeting for, I mean, success, especially with you mentioned border reaffirmation or Sierra Leone getting back YENGA than maybe going back to meetings up and down. How this going to be the last one, maybe the starting point?
I go be very much remiss for state say this meeting will be the last one. But what I want to assure the public now that the YENGA situation and all other issues relating to border infractions or border ownership don't be pitched at the highest level. For we, especially members of the technical committee in Sierra Leone, we think so. If you resolve YENGA no more today, you don't resolve almost half of all of the problems, if not all of the problems even, because YENGA na like the sticking point, na the thorny issue, where they create the rancor between we. Some people and some people over the Guinean side. But La notify the public say there is a team where they come to Salon from ECOWAS for a short say they can get fruitful engagements into this matter. Not forget say his
ECOWAS don't know about this long time.
They know. They may still look forward to we resolving the thing in house. Then they look forward to that kind of thing. But the level
where we know it's not go possible from Pakaba in time.
It's supposed to be possible, really, brother Base.
But it's been a long time, Mr. Will. And the people in that place they suffer. It's like back and forth. I understand if they listen to an interview where one of the people that come on that area, they say some of the people are still they out of the Guineans and Dede and all, you know.
So it's quite understandable. The people in anger, it's clear, it's palpable, and everybody, as I say, they feel like how they feel. When we been go na YENGA, when we been go na Kwendu for go get that engagement. You know, it's pathetic. For let somebody in a country, not to disaster, not to war, but it become a displaced person. But the appeal was that the government they pursue this one vigorously for such a will resolve.
How long then go wait for that?
So currently, as recent as a week ago, there is some development. Now the YENGA place, exactly. The development are that there was a commander, some thinking day. Now, individual security officers' attitude, then they foment and give them the kind of posture we're not supposed to even take. So there was a commander.
Then they left with the commander back of that place there. But make sure say in Monday, no unbog them people.
No unbog them people. So then do a change of command. A new person can the first thing we do now for extend an olive branch for let we get a meeting with them. But given the level of frustration in all of the efforts we don't make, we'll be very much apprehensive of meeting him. But like they say, the mafia no go refuse to go by a meeting. If he refuses for do what he ask for do, if you're not satisfied with them, so we officers and go engage with them. The commander will come. He appalled with that kind of development and identify say there are now people we are one and the same people. This kind of situation not supposed to continue.
Mr. Will, you think really the international community, what's the international community? I mean, maybe the United Nations, then know and get the archives of all them please here. The ICJ, I don't know if they deal with the issue, if Salome don't take this court to international, I mean, court of justice.
We don't reach that level. It's like I say.
But this is from late Pakaba, so now how many years now?
So he also filed for
after the war.
Yeah, he also filed for security conversation well.
Okay.
Before Pakaba and President Nassana Conte, they signed that communique.
Yeah.
Now be some half what is in terms of tanks and WDD and so on and so forth. I mean the history people know how the Guinean troops have been come because of the strategic nature of YENGA. Then they appeal actually to the government of Sierra Leone. Say we want for help now, but we think say some activities that happen along this line.
One for
secure area. So we wait for there.
But after the war done a long time.
They not go. So that agreement they lead them for move back the tanks over the water and cause them. After that, much confusion not be there. Now be free zone, all man they go about the business and so on and so forth. Until recently, we then begin for come back to the extent that they construct a barrack and that kind of thing. But we don't continue for appeal to the people of YENGA, the Gizi people, where they na Pegebendu, Kwendu, and other side them, na the Gizi kingdom.
Yeah.
On the need for them to continue for exercise patience, because then they tell we say if then now they make so una referee them, don't confront them. When I like they say let a civilian go confront somebody they in arm, and you might not know what will be the outcome of them. So now that make in all of we engagements, the appeal don't be for patience. I mean it happened between Nigeria and Cameroon over the ownership of the Bakassi Peninsula. It takes long, but at the end of the day, when they maybe for resolve
so we say it take long.
Well, it don't take long already.
Exactly.
It don't take long already.
I think it's more than 20 years.
Yeah, you will not even want for continue for the in that kind of situation. But at the end of the day, the ICJ, the International Court of Justice, will come after both countries present documents for claim ownership or non-ownership. Then they pass a verdict. If everything may happen at that region, they largely the people will be there, they recognize themselves as Nigerians. They get Nigerian documentations and that kind of thing. But when they now pass the barrier, they say Bakassi is exclusively a Cameroonian territory. You get one or two options. You either stay as Nigerian, as a Cameroonian, or you go as Nigerian and turn over the documents. But I think they don't be resolved and that kind of thing. We really know they look forward for reach that level there. But it sounds like from what don't happen, of course the MRU don't be given clear instructions and mandate and don't show commitment for see how they say go involve into the matter for now we find a common solution onto that. We don't want to really resolve YENGA today, then tomorrow we'll see each other at a Guinea or a salon, we turn face by we say.
Maybe as an expert or somebody from awareness, you think say that issue they go be resolved in the next 5 years because they look say even when this President Kandomboy at least if you don't know say this day, sometimes as a military man, for they easily say okay, wanna come on at that place.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. Me, I even say within the next 1 year, we'll go for resolve YENGA. Maybe less than that, say. Sometimes it just take one person in pronouncement and YENGA is resolved. The military will left there? If the resolution is that YENGA belongs to this person and that kind of thing, whosoever be there, not just a command. Overnight, you will see the matter resolved. Before we talk about some of the other things they want to do at the meeting, I don't know if you get knowledge about maybe say this government we don't sit down with say the two presidents we don't sit down, maybe the vice president will be say they go Guinea, then don't sit down really with this military man and ask really why soldiers are still inside YENGA. I'm not going for speak to Danny in depth, but I know say the president of both countries at some level they don't discuss YENGA, they don't discuss border issues. In fact, on account of a level of frustration, that make the matter being brought to the attention of the AU. I recall some 3 or 4 years back, there was an AU team on border security or border issues. AU experts, African Union experts, then come, we get an engagement at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The outcome of that meeting day, now before a team be constituted for go na the border areas, particularly na YENGA, and go visit for let us see for themselves. Now, on account of that, they may recommend the setting up of this joint commission in all of our engagements. The AU present, because now AU now they provide a kind of a coordination. Like I say, I should say the intention now for see that when I resolve this thing in house. Una need each other.
But this thing nonsense. This thing, now for like Guinea say, okay, una take an hand back then, the soldier then come on.
Yeah, that is if Guinea thinks say na salon get there. If they think say they get a stake in that, maybe that make
so Guinea they argue saying at their own place.
Well, in some of the engagements, who don't get, it don't be shown either by kind of a implication. Say yes, we say get a stake in YENGA. Even if you see the baking. The plaque where it says this land belongs to Guinea since 1885.
Okay.
Where they beyond the 1895 treaty. So if any kind of a problem be done day ahead of that treaty day, if the two countries don't sign up to the treaty ahead of you claim, and we don't accept them, then so be it.
Okay.
Now say, for example, last year we fought over this thing. This year now they make a kind of a decision. Say last month, say in May, they make a decision. Say yes, these are the actual situation. Me and you to sign.
Okay.
Then it's say for only than in June.
All right.
We're not for this until for go back.
Okay.
To
All right, then, Mr. Will from ONS Family, we'll talk about the meeting we then convened in Liberia for the 4 Mana River countries, them Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and Ivory Coast, for looking to the border there. According to Mr. Will, it's a border reaffirmation. Maybe if we go make sure say yes, now this person here, now this. But we know say presently the Guineans occupy YENGA, part of YENGA really. We like concern. I wonder whether that end up be the highlights of the show. But anyway, that with few messages because we get 5 more minutes. Fatmata Sharif say I'm live listening. Abaka Jalo say Jay from Milan. YENGA is also so sir, you guys must do your work very seriously to gain it back for Sierra Leone. Thank you. Leo the Lion said our government needs to invest in the military, stand strong and fight for YENGA because Guinea is just taking advantage of us. It's enough with diplomatic meetings. We need to start for what is ours. Some soldiers say MRE countries have met in Monrovia to strengthen cooperation on border and maritime issues. The goal is to peacefully resolve disputes, improve cross-border security, and boost trade. This is a positive step towards regional peace, development, and stronger ties between communities. Maybe if you could respond to any of them, the Leo the Lion, things that maybe the Guineans and they take the strength, we then get it. Maybe if we say we don't show we own strength on the other side, therefore no CS.
So I always make reference to we authorities when it comes to the engagement relating to the concerns people they raise.
Yeah.
See, why not fit? Afraid of the free Guinea and that kind of thing there.
Okay.
I mean, where the Minister for Internal Affairs they speak to the people he say dialogue not mean say you lazy. Dialogue don't mean say you afraid.
Okay.
Now just that in the civilized world we dey now, that are the way to go.
Okay.
It can be painful, it can be slow, it can be frustrating, it can even mean say, it appear like how people think say, hey, no afraid, you're afraid. No. Because of the persistent reports of harassment, intimidation, or kind of a posture, we will send fear or shockwaves into the minds of the people who inside there. Now that make us be decide say, let we say go deploy within the YENGA vicinity, so that will lead to deployment in Sokoma. And Sokoma, in strategic nature, when we go deploy there, it also triggers some kind of a concern from the military them will be deployed on the Guinean side. We can
against them.
Say, this one a problem don't come for we. Okay. So if we make a kind of a build up. As I speak, that deployment today will therefore be maintained until short a time we think say we don't achieve the purpose for which we do the deployment there.
Okay.
Because in we own estimation, thinking, now the belief says if you quarrel over a place, you get any rancor. If it be left as a demilitarized zone, if it be left as a buffer zone, so that at the end of the day, when you take a decision, nobody will say, hey, I don't do this kind of investment, so pay me for that investment if you have to pull me there. Say, for example, like Guinea don't go construct a barrack there. If you now can't pass a decision, say, actually, YENGA is an territory. You know for broker.
Okay.
You know for broker.
All for left day.
All for left day. Okay. So if you now say, let's alone pay for an salon, say, no, well, pull and come out. You know, that kind of thing.
Just like building somebody in land.
Building somebody in land.
Okay.
So that make it can always be sensible. For the other side, and maybe a kind of a side, what do you say? We will see even more annoying at the fact say, then people are there and large in the farmers. Now local farmers. Now from the farming activities and they survive. And for them, no matter which amount of bags of rice you give them, you don't still able to solve the problem. The cow then able for planting.
Well, the camera up. Leo the Lion says, sir, for how long are we going to continue with this dialogue?
For as long as we still get the problem for exists, we will continue to forget this dialogue. The reason that Salona country we don't suffer the pains of war. I mean, they say once bitten, twice shy. maybe sometimes we counterpart them, they don't understand them from that angle. I know they actually do bad PR for them.
Okay.
But if they really know the impact of war, when they say war, no matter how strong it be, even in a fight between a midget and a giant in a boxing ring, even the giant said they sustain some wounds. So they go,
Iran and Israel.
Iran and Israel.
See what you mean.
Yeah.
Iran said they launched now.
They die. If you go between even Russia, Russia as big as a nation it is.
Okay.
So not because we never forfeit, not because we're afraid, not because we think say dialogue is better than any kind of rancor.
Okay, well, dialogue better. I think that's most important. Anything dialogue, even the problems have now. The wall now, we all know about whether it's Ukraine, whether it's Russia, whether it's Palestine, whether it's Iran, whether it's Israel, all in the dialogue in trifle. We hope say dialogue will make the way forward. But before you go, Mr. Will, quickly, we'll not get much time. When next, what next?
So we don't develop the roadmaps. With next meeting will get for take place in Monrovia. The second meeting. The Salon now again for take place.
Okay.
We will be and counterparts in the CAM. Again for be on the fourth quarter of this year.
Okay.
The last quarter, I think sometimes around
October. September, October.
Yes, September, October. I don't get the timeline I mean hand.
All right.
But it spanned from that 10 day. So then they were in July. Some activities they were in July. One of the things that will come up now that during the war or after the wars in Salon and Liberia, will be established joint border security and confidence building units. Their units here, it will constitute security people or people na Salon will get something for do with border or security na Salon and Guinea and Liberia for they meet every month. So they go meet in Guinea, sometimes they come meet in Salon, sometimes they go to Liberia as a case. So then kind rancor, then kind tensions here, it not really happen at all. And in the process, will they succeed for raise revenue for the countries? Will they succeed for ward off any kind of illegal activities?
Okay.
They don't have smuggling of small arms and light weapons and that kind of thing. But because of the availability of resources, now the UNDP they provide that support there through the Mano River Union. It don't become a kind of they don't become moribund. Even though the committees and they don't become moribund, and so the decision back would don't be taken now for reactivate and revitalize the joint border security and confidence building within it. The Makona River organization, now one of the local NGOs, non-government organizations, will also prevail in this matter because they particularly look at the river between Sierra Leone and Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia. That conclave they call it the Parrot Beak. Outside the Makona River, they call it the Parrot Beak.
Okay.
Guinea can't join there, Liberia can't join there, then Salon can't join there.
All right. Well, I don't have to stop the conversation for today. We tell plenty thanks to Mr. Will for the meeting with me all. Now, Liberia, outside they're looking to various border issues, maritime, and land. And one of the side away, I don't know if according to Mr. Will, it's not being part of the agenda, not the YENGA issue, but it will fall later when they come for looking to the band. With that, few seconds, you find out what and say goodbye inside the show.
I want to tell everybody plenty thank you, especially the people who make their contributions. You are the one able to make contributions, and for continue for appeal to the people of YENGA, Kailang, and we all on follow we continue for exercise patience. That the situation this will not mean say we go for this forever. Okay. Efforts are being pursued vigorously for ensure say we resolve that matter day. And we ascension to the chairmanship of ECOWAS. I sure say it will be speedy and much more than we even think about it.
All right. Thank you very much, family. With that, continue for sending comments on our Facebook page out there, and continue for watch AYV News is next. And if you missed part of it, live every Wednesday, and on Saturday, a repeat. Till then, have a good time. God bless you. Bye-bye.